Good morning, one and all.
Good morning, ma'am.
Madam.
Had your breakfast?
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then energetic morning, right?
Yes, madam.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
fine.
Yes, ma'am.
So you all already talking about lifestyle and lifestyle diseases and so on, or what all the lifestyles that we have to adopt. And since our ancestors have adopted so many type of lifestyles and they were healthy for so many days, and now whatever the problems which is deviated from the lifestyle we are facing, maybe it is corona. Can you hear me? I am audible.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
There are so many problems like obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, so many heart attacks in so many years. And there are statistics says there are 30% increase in the cardiovascular diseases. So what do you think all these problems that we are facing? Is it something else? We are doing some mistakes and so on. Do you have any idea regarding this? You can opinion because it's a general topic. It will be as a discussion rather than the only monologue. Do you agree with me?
Yes, madam. Modern lifestyle affects our daily activities, ma'am.
Modern lifestyle. What do you mean by lifestyle? What do you mean by lifestyle?
Lifestyle in the sense, ma'am, diet, ma'am. For example, processed food or packed food, and also junk food,
Okay.
and lack of exercise or meditation due to some time lag. All
Yes.
these things leads to these deviations. ma'am.
Okay. So do you think that these are some mistake that we are doing by us, right? Because of that, we are facing so many problems. Any other opinion regarding this, sir? Gopal, sir? Gopal Chandra Pandit, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
I agree with you. We are educated person also. We know all the things about health, but we don't use the ideas
Okay.
how to be healthy.
Okay.
So these are the problems. We have to maintain our lifestyle. So normally.
So anybody can brief me what lifestyle we expected to do?
Madam,
Srinivas, sir, please
yeah,
tell
can
me.
I?
Yeah, please.
Madam, the lifestyle of a particular person or a group
Yes.
of their people living conditions,
Living condition, geographical
their
condition, and
behavior.
cultural condition. Yes.
Yeah, and their behavior
Yeah.
and their habits
Okay.
that are typically of them are chosen by them. This is what I can say lifestyle.
No, this is what I am telling. Comparatively, whether whatever the previous our ancestors or our grandfather and grandmother, they're enjoyed and they're happily they live their life. And what problems that we are facing, either it's a medical problem, there are so many cardiovascular problem, diabetes, increasing diabetes. WHO released yesterday in the sense there is a lot of increase in the diabetes. In 2030, 60% of the people are diabetic. So this is one prediction that they are done in that by WHO. So all these problems that we are facing, why we are facing these problems? That I'm asking. So is there any deviation? So you all agree that there is a lifestyle. We have changed lifestyle when compared to the previous, right?
There is lifestyle and human health are directly related, ma'am. So
Correct.
our ancestors' lifestyle was different to the present generation, ma'am.
Yes.
So early to bed and early to rise was their main
Correct.
life.
Yes.
But now it is entirely different.
Yeah. Similarly,
Sip
yes.
late night and
Late night sleeping, exposure to the light, and all these problems that we are facing.
And they are
Probably
all hardworking people.
Yes.
So nowadays we work less and eat more.
Yes, physical activities are less.
Physical activities are very less.
Correct. So these are all the problems that we are facing. Whatever the medical issues that we are facing today is, you all know, because of this. And also another interesting thing that we have. Now let us start with what is the definition for a lifestyle. So it is a general topic, as I told you. So by definition, this lifestyle is a set of goals. So it is also, again, as Sir said, Gopal Sir said, there is a regional specification and cultural specification, and there are different geographical regions that we have. So this lifestyle set of goals, plans, values, attitude, behaviors, and beliefs manifested in the personal life and family life of individual and a social and cultural interactions. So this is the definition. There are so many definitions are there. Another definition that I can quote is it is an interdisciplinary concept which involves a health-oriented view of a physical, psychological, social, and spiritual aspects of life. Right? So this is the definition that I can give. And what may be this causes? So there are some more definitions. A way of living of individuals, families, households, societies, and so on, and day-to-day life. And lifestyle is expressed in both work and leisure behavior. For example, you have a person who is having some duties, so he will do the weekdays duty and weekend duties, and weekdays activities are different from that of the weekend duties, and so on. So see, all it is included in the definition, but different people have a different opinion regarding the lifestyle, as you all said. So it is the amalgamation of so many things, right? So here we know that we have what I say. So we also know the problem why we are deviating from all the lifestyle that ancestors or our elders have enjoyed, and they enjoyed their life and happily and without any problem, and we have deviated. So why these things happening is because of there is one thing that we have, they've adopted to the biological system, biological rhythm that we call as a biological rhythm, and it is a 24-hour cycle. It is a 24-hour cycle, and we know that morning is there and evening is the night is there. So we have adopted to such things like that. We know that there are many animals, they have a nocturnal habitat, diurnal habitat, and the crepuscular habitat, and they are adapted to the specific habit, specific life. What we are adapted, human beings are adapted, is the 24-hour rhythms to our physiological and metabolism, and our physiology, what we can say, what time your digestive juices has to be released, and what time your sleep hormone is released, and all these things is very set. It is set and it is adapted to the 24 hours rhythm, in the sense day and night. So night we sleep and day we are active. So our bodies have an internal clock that we refer to our circadian rhythms, and this internal clock sets all system, all physiology, when you have to wake up and when you have to sleep and all these things. You may not know when you go to the bed, and you may get immediately sleep, and in the morning, so we don't know when during your sleep, you may, where are you don't know, right? Most of the time you will not see that where exactly you are and all these things. You'll forget everything and you sleep calmly in the bed. So in the morning, you'll know everything, all problems will come again in the morning, right? This is the set of things that we are adapted since beginning. So since the earth rotation, this is set to the earth rotation. You know that whatever the day and night that we are facing now, or we are adapted, is because of the earth rotation. And this earth rotation bring you the light, day, and the night, and so on. So this is what we have adapted since many years, and many organs also show a daily changes. This, whatever the system that we are adapted, even our physiology has been adapted to such things. You take your liver into consideration, your digestive system into consideration, or your heart is consideration, or your temperature rhythm is considered. So all these have a set of goals and set of things, and they are fixed to some active period and some inactive period, and so on. And it is genetically, it is there, in the sense, so from it is propagated from your father to you, and you to your children, and so on. This has been a fixed system. Also we can call hereditary. It has become an hereditary system. So this rhythm is the one where you have you see whatever the rhythm that we are talking about. Here we have a midnight and 12 noon, and you see this picture gives you when exactly your system. So the medical report, this is a medical report where when exactly your liver is active, when exactly your brain is so active, and when exactly your heart is so active, and so on. So this is the high alertness. 10 o'clock in the morning, it is high alertness. Noon, it is little bit less. And in the best coordination can be seen in this time, and fastest reaction time, and so on. So probably, you know, by the end of the day, you may very feel tired and your brain may not work properly, or decision making, it may be very difficult. Or in the morning, it is very, very high. So you can take decision and you feel very energetic, and you feel you can perception of the brain is enhanced. Why it is not same thing in the evening? So that always after meal, again it is reduced, again it is reduced. So all these things are has a rhythm, and this rhythm is set by from our ancestor to you. We have received, which is a gift. We have received all this, and any deviation from this has a disruption. So simply just give an example. We have a built-in schedule each day. There is a time to eat, right? Morning, some time point, we have a breakfast, and in the noon, we have a dinner, lunch, and night dinner. So a time to sleep, a time to digest, a time to repair, and basically a prime. So time to repair in the sense when you go into sleep in the some fixed time, you have a sleeping time, and so on. And now we have a digestive system. You know that at short 1 o'clock or 1:30, you feel hungry, and then you need a food or lunch, and so on. Why you are hungry? Why you feel hungry when it is a 1 o'clock or 1:30 in the afternoon? These are the things that you have to keep it in mind, where your digestive juices are released during that time, and as a result that your neurons tells your brain that you feel hungry, right? So this is what is happening. And repair, for example, whatever the wear and tear that is taking place during our daily activity, daily physical activity, or intense physical activity. But night time, when you have a very good night's sleep, then you'll have such repairs, wear and tear will be done. That is why you'll in the morning, next morning, you will become very energetic. So these things are there. So basically, it is a time for everything. So there are molecular, even at the molecular level, your genes, 70 to 80% of the genes are highly rhythmic. Only at some point of time it picks up, and then it is come down. So this is what we are learning in the circadian rhythm. In so decades, this has coming up because what are the problems that we are facing nowadays is all because of the disruption in the circadian rhythm, that we are, because of the light. So during our ancestors, they were exposed only to the daylight, visible light, but we are also exposing to the artificial light. So if you wake up to 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, you are exposing to the, so how long you are exposed to the artificial light, your melatonin, that is a sleeping hormone, is postponed. As a result of this, your sleep will be impaired. A prolonged impairment in the sleep that led to the so many problems. So the circadian rhythm with disruption oscillate aging process, while circadian rhythm synchronization slows the aging process. So this is also this whenever prolonged rhythm variation that also impairs the aging process. Aging process in the sense you may age faster. Say for example, one example I can give you. So there is a hair whitening of the hair. My grandma still even at 80 years, 50% of only the black hair and 50% white hair. 80 years of the 80, she died at the 80. But now after 20 years, even at the 20 or 13 years, in the young ages, you can see the white hairs. Why do you think it is there? Why you get the white hairs? It's aging process. It is increasing because of so many reasons. So a strive in the or it's a change, alteration in the lifestyle, it depending upon your lifestyle, and makes the whatever the external cues, whatever the visible light that you are facing, that is, it synchronizes your body to make your daily activity in a better way, and so that you will have a better lifestyle. So why within, for example, within a modern lifestyle, 24/7 workload and so on. Just a minute, I can change my PPT. I think yes, given a different PPT. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I'm sorry for whatever the disruption. Can you see my PPT now?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you
Yes,
see?
ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So there's one
Visible, ma'am.
picture, the term circadian coined by Franz Hallberg. Okay, so full screen. Okay, so this is rhythm. What all we have observed, and this have a set of rhythm, as I already said. Rhythm by definition as a been defined as a sequence of events that repeat themselves through a time. For example, one thing I give you, temperature. If you take your temperature from morning to evening, 1 hour once record of temperature, so that will give you like this, a peak like this, in the sense from morning it is a little bit less, and then evening it is drops down. So 4 o'clock in the morning it highly drops down. So this is the rhythm. So like that, our digestive juices, it comes several times and so on the basis of this we have a different types of rhythms are there. For the first time, the circadian was coined by the this Franz Hallberg. And to understand these circadian rhythms, recently 2007, these three fellows have got a Nobel Prize, and they have very clearly understood the role of these circadian genes to the physiology, and that is how this disruption make the all these problems that we have. So that is why for their lifetime achievement they have got a Nobel Prize. These are the three person, J.C. Hall, Michael Rochefort, and the one. So they have all done on the Drosophila, and they have understood at the molecular level genes, how exactly genes are there, how in response to the light our physiology is fixed. All this they have understood. So what are the different types of rhythms that is regulated? One is the sleep-wake cycle. You may be curious, because for you, because I'm not so scientific, because you are from the different disciplines. That is why, in a simple words, I'm giving you an idea about what are the different rhythm that we are experiencing. First one, regulate sleep-wake cycles. So at some point of time, you wake up, and some point of time you go to your sleep, right? So this is sleep-wake cycle is the one best rhythm that we have, 24 hours rhythm, and determine the quality of your sleep. So, and also a very good night's sleep. So some people, probably you may know, if you have some elders at home, they're always disturbed by they will not get a good night's sleep. So they'll wake up several times for some other reasons, maybe for going to the nature call and so on. All these things takes place. So like that, they will not, this also, your rhythm, if it is proper, you should have a good night's sleep. If it is not that, so your sleep will be disturbed. And promote wakefulness and energy. So when you get up, you should be energetic. You should be energetic. So this is because of the cortisol that is released from your liver, and as a result of this, your glucose input will be more, and so that you feel very energetic and you can do work, you can go to your work and so on. So this is also wakefulness and energy. But sometimes if you are disease or something, a fever or some problems is there, health problems are there, you will not feel energetic when you wake up. So this is another thing that you have. So release certain hormones and enzymes. For example, sleep hormone, as a melatonin is a sleep hormone. At some point of 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock it picks up, and so that you will have a good night's sleep. So this melatonin also very, so like that cortisol increase in the cortisol and so on. There are several hormones which regulate our body physiology also under the control of this clock. There's flight inflammation and oxidative stress. Say for example, fighting against corona, fighting against some diseases, and also or the regulation under the regulation of this, because your immune system, IgG and so on, they're those molecules which fight against the diseases are also regulated by this circadian rhythm. Help with proper digestion and gut function. So whatever that you eat has to be digested properly. Within 3 hours, your digestion should close, and so that you feel hungry again. So this is gut function. So this is possible by only if your proper digestion juices are produced, and also your gut bacteria should be good. So then only your digestion, so that system proper work function normally, and so on. Affect things like autophagy, growth hormone, and so on. So this is regarding the your immune system, and also regarding the growth of the muscle, whatever wear and tear which is there. And for the children, the growth of the children, and all these things are also regulated by this rhythm. So to give an example, you see the examples here. So these graphs shows the core body temperature. I also told you that it's a core body temperature that we have varies. So that peaks up in some time. So here this is the whatever center is the dark condition, and these two are the light condition. So at least in the morning you have a little bit fun, and this is the peak timings of the temperature. And urine volume increases during the evening, and also in the drops down in the night it's urine volume, and morning you have a peak. And cerebral blood flow for your brain, so that varies, so it peaks. So the maximum blood flow takes place in the during the night, midnight. You see here, you see this graph, midnight. So that there are many functions. You may sleeping, but your brain still functioning, your subconscious level, it is still functioning. That is why the maximum blood flow takes place during the night, and where there are several hormones, and then some enzymes, and your immunoglobulin for responsible for the immune system. All these molecules are synthesizing during the night whenever you are not active. So that is why cerebral blood flow peaks in the night. Systolic blood pressure, so that is regarding the heart. Melatonin, a sleep hormone, it picks up in the midnight. Cortisol, morning, as I already told you, to make your day, morning, energetic. So this cortisol is very important. You see here in the morning. And the tryptophan. So this is another thyroid is a thyroid hormone, and growth hormone. Growth hormone also it picks up in the night. So for the children, that is why you may know at home somebody is there. So children should sleep very well. So this is the reason where when they are sleeping, their growth hormone increases. That is why they can grow well. So this is the whatever that our ancestors are telling, all these things are true now, where you have a growth hormone and all these things, only it increases during the sleep. If they are hyperactive, probably growth may be reduced. So these are all the things that we have. This is one example where different hormones peaks in the night and different hormones picks up in the day, and so on. So depending upon the one. So also you should know that message is that all hormone is not in the equilibrium in whole day. So they'll have a peak up in the different point of time. So these peaking of the different point of time, depending upon the sleep and awake alertness, and also the exposure to the sun. This is in the sun, what we accept, what we receive is the melanopsin. So there's a blue light sensing protein which is present in our body that receives it, that makes your clock fixed, and so that they can give messages, they can give instructions to your peripheral organs, so that when they should be active and all these things. So they will give in the form of some protein or some neuron activation, and so that they will give when they should be activated. So either for the synchronization of your body, raises alertness, reduces depression in the night, less sensitive to the then candlelight, and sleep hormone, melatonin resist, and so on. So this is what melanopsin protein which is present in our body receives the light, and so that makes you, that keep you alertness. One example I can give you. So in all this last month, we have faced lack of sun. In the sense, the sun was not there, and as a result of that, a continuous rain. As a result of this, we feel little depressed. Is it not? Yes or no? When there is no
Yes,
sun,
ma'am. Yes,
what
ma'am.
happens?
Yes, ma'am.
When there is no sun, what happens? For winter, for example, or some rainy seasons, so continuously there will be a rain and there is no sun. What will be the situation for you, especially?
Temperature drops in the environment, and that affects on our daily activities.
You are not alert. Alertness reduces, right?
Yes.
You always feel sleeping.
Laziness, ma'am.
Sleeping. Laziness is nothing but the less of alertness. You feel like sleeping always in the bed. You wanted to be in the bed, right? Most of the time. So this is one example where if there is a light, then your alertness enhances, and as a result, your activity will be normal. So function of the body, just give an example. 6 a.m. cortisol levels increases to wake your brain and body. 7 a.m. melatonin productions stops in the morning for alert to increase the alertness, and they're all fixed. So 9 a.m. sex hormone production peaks up, and 10 a.m. mental alertness levels peaks up. In the sense that is why when you are here and you are alert, and so that you can hear our lecture and so on. And 2:30 p.m. best motor coordination, fastest reaction time, and continuation with this greatest cardiovascular efficiency is in the evening time. So most of the time people go to gym, they prefer to go to the gym either in the morning or in the evening. Evenings are better because your muscle coordination or cardiovascular coordination efficiency is more during the evening. And PM highest blood pressure and the body, 7 p.m. temperature, and 9 p.m. melatonin production, and so on. So these are all the some examples that I can give you. So what exactly? This has been medically proved one. So what this regulates? Who regulates this rhythm? So far, I told you there are many hormones, the synthesis of the immunoglobulin and all these things. Makes sense that who is going to be receive it and who gives the response to the different instructions, that who will receive this light, who will receive the light from in our body. There is one section of brain is the hypothalamus. Here in the back side, you have a hypothalamus. So this is hypothalamus is nothing but a group of neurons. They are the group of neurons, and they are the one which is one area in this hypothalamus. One area again, they are the group of nucleus is called as a suprachiasmatic nucleus. So this is the area where it acts as a master clock. Master clock in your biological, whatever the rhythms that you are there. So biological rhythms that you have in for every, whether it's a hormone or so on in your body physiology and so on, this will be regulated by this master clock. What time your digestive system should be digestion is release digestive juices will be given, instruction will be given by this suprachiasmatic nucleus. And when exactly your melatonin should be synthesized, all this will be released by this nucleus. So it acts as a master clock, and this gives instructions to your all over the body. And as a result of this, all tissues that you have will be set their timings, and so that just like we set our timings looking at the radio or looking at some the clock at home. So this is what happens. Your SCN act as a master clock in our body, and so that receives the photic signal in the sense through sun, and so that they can receive it, and then they'll set your biological system according to your activities, and so that set at what point of time you are. So because it is individual differences are there. For example, if somebody they prefer to sleep at 9 o'clock every day, some people they prefer to sleep at, so it depends. So individualistic manner, so these are set in. So normal physiology is there, but still some little bit changes can be seen in the physiology of an individual problem. So it is individualistic manner. So SCN in the hypothalamus, you just see in the backside of your brain, your red colored one is the SCN, suprachiasmatic nucleus, and this sleep they can give the photic signals from the environment, and they set it, and this will give in turn information to the different clocks. So maybe it is in the brain when exactly some neurons has to be activated, and this activation of the rhythms are also neuron rhythms are also set it, and sleep melatonin by making the melatonin synthesis, and peripheral circadian clocks like in case of the liver, your lungs and your hearts. So when exactly these has to be activated will be done by this master clock. It will be given instruction to this peripheral clock, and as a result, but not all the system peaks at some time and the peaks down at the different timings. This not happens, but at different point of time, liver will be activated, lungs will be activated, and the heart will be activated. So this also maintains the redox status, in the sense energy status in your brain, inflammation, proteostasis, synaptic homeostasis, and the lymphatic flow. And so these are all the brain function which is done by the instructed by the SCM. So now peripheral metabolism, whatever the metabolism, so your metabolism is set to the in tune with the clock, your master clock, and glucose homeostasis, vascular regulation, and hormone regulation. So one example, okay, cortisol, as I already told, this is the sun and this is the moon, where night and the day, and where your cortisol levels are increased. Black color is the cortisol level in the morning, cortisol level increases and drops down in the night. And similarly, opposite is the melatonin, where melatonin peaks in the night, so that you'll have a good night's sleep, and then it comes down. So this is the variation. Just why I given this is there is a variation in the different hormonal peaks and so on. So this is a just opposite way. Cortisol peaks in the morning and drops down in the night, but opposite is the melatonin, where you have a melatonin in the night. So it depending upon the different function, depending upon their function. So same thing. So cortisol highest during light, decrease during dark. Prolactin more during sleep, less during light. Aldosterone, these are the different hormones that I am giving you an example. Peaks in the afternoon, declines in the evening. Testosterone low in the afternoon, high in the night. All this. So these are all the different hormones. Testosterone, sex hormone. Prolactin, a milk hormone. And cortisol, it's energy hormone, and so on. So a brain or master clock, it acts as a master clock, just give you the different rhythms to the different organs to show a muscle function or a liver function, a kidney function. So it all. So what just I'm going to give you the message is this clock are responsible for regulating your ovulation or release of testosterone or the sperm and so on. So here we have a heart function, digestive function, kidney function, and so on. So your clock regulates all this. You just imagine your clock should be proper, then only your functions are normal. If there is a improper or if there is a dysregulation in the clock function, that impairs all the function, all this function that I'm talking about. Yeah, this what is the dysregulation I'm talking about is a disharmony, a disturbance in this biological clock. So biological clock has a definite role, and these definite role, if it is disturbed, it disorders. So you'll have end up with the different disorders, like we have a normal biological clock, a normal function, what our ancestors are enjoyed, and whatever the disturbance that we are facing is because of a disordered clock, or a manipulated clock. I can say manipulated by us only. It is the manipulated clock. So what we get is the lifestyle. So there's a disturbance in the lifestyle, and I maybe because of so many reasons, shift work, sleep wake cycle, exposure to the light, and different food habit, or odd time eating. All these are responsible for the disturbance in the clock, and mutation in the circadian genes also there, heredity. And here, if it is disturbed in all this way, that led to the disorders and diseases. Either it may be a long-term disorders may result in the cancer. And you also know the cancer cases are increasing day by day because of so many reasons. One reason is this, and metabolic dysfunction that led to the obesity, and this impaired metabolism that led to the obesity, because, and also that led to the several like lifestyle diseases, like some cardiovascular issues, and also diabetes, and all those things, and cardiovascular problems. And also we have a psychologically, so it's psychological aspects. So you know that a brain is a master clock, which is activity, it regulates all activity. If there's a disturbance in this clock, that led to these many problems, along with a psychological and behavioral aspects. So you know that nowadays students are not like before. They're addicted to the mobile. A mobile, not only that problem, only one area of your brain is activated. Now other areas. So if you want to become a holistic brain activity, you need to give a different types of activity so that your brain function it will be activated in many ways, because if you do not use your neurons properly, then the death of the neurons takes place. Neurons. So any part, you know that if you do not use it, use and disuse theory of a Lamarckism, if it is holds good here, only one area if it is activated, only the ophthalmic area is activated, because if you continuously using the mobile. And another problem is exposure to the long exposure to the light, that impairs your brain activity, and also sleep disturbance will be there. And long-term such situation, if you face it, that led to the psychological problem, what we can dementia, or else we have a depression, and all such things. All such things are important. So disturbance makes all such problems that we are already facing this one. Okay. We have relevance in psychiatry, sleep regulation, seasonal affective disorders. In some countries, they get only very rarely they get the sun. So they always face some problem. These are all the lessons for us, where we have to understand what are the problems they are facing because of the sun. We are lucky to have a sun every day, and a bright night, bright sun, and led to the good night sleep for us. And here there are some countries, they face all these problems, seasonal affective disorders, SAD, seasonal affective disorders, because of the lack of sun. So they have to undergo phototherapy often without any problem. They have to go such therapies because of the absence of the light. Non-seasonal depression will be there, and schizophrenia and dementia. So there are so many neuron related problems will be there. One thing, it is a continuous exposure to the light, artificial light. And second thing, only one area of brain is used, and all these things make sense. And so that led to the less physical activity, impaired metabolism or impaired eating habit, and all these things put together led to the psychological problems. So sleep-wake cycle, meal timing. So the reasons, some of the reasons that they give is the sleep-wake cycle rhythm, night-dark cycle, temperature, meal timing, type of amount of food that we take also matters. So sleep timings, you have to have a very good sleep timings. It should be fixed. It should be fixed to one time, and so that you will have a good night's sleep. Sleep is an important part of your overall health and quality of life. And this, there's 8 hours of sleep is very essential, because when your physics or whatever your physical body is in the at rest, but your brain will be still functional, subconscious level, and whatever it prepares your body for the next day by synthesizing many type of protein, and wear and tear, whatever the wear and tear which is occurred during the day will be repaired during the night. And also your DNA, whatever DNA which is because of so many mutation might have occurred, and that will be repaired during the night. That is why you need to have a good night's sleep for at least 7 to 8 hours. And it is not the only rest for your body, but your body or your cells are synthesizing some of the other molecules during these days. Poor sleep and circadian mismatches promote all problem diseases. You know that if you do not sleep for 2 days, what happens? Can you bear with this? Can you bear with this? Anyone can give opinion?
Oh, madam.
If you can sleep for 2 days, if you do not sleep for 2 days, for some reasons, maybe some problem or because of so many reasons, if you do not sleep, what happens?
Our physiological process will be disturbed.
You feel very lazy, or you feel very what we can say depressed, right? You may not take a decision, that uneasiness and depressed, and you cannot take any decision. You get angry, right?
No energy.
Angry at your wife, is it not? Right? Even for simple reasons. So that is this is the impact of the sleep. Actually, if you have a very good night sleep, even in the morning, if somebody does some mistakes, then also you will not feel angry, right? You feel very calm and take decisions, right? So this is the importance of the sleep. The most important thing nowadays is the timings of the meal. It is altered a lot. And there are research work which is done in this direction has shown that impaired meal timings has a lot of impact on the circadian synchronization. Synchronization, what are the day timings? The synchronization should take place, and that the tuning of the external light to that of our body is mismatched. It is a mismatching between these two, and as a result, if you have a wrong meal timings, that led to the so many problems, right? And there is one human studies in a young adults found that eating close to when levels of, if for example, sleep hormones are there, in the sense during late night sleep, for example, somebody is going for a late to their bed, and near to that they have their food for some reasons. It continues for several days. So this shows that they're associated with the accumulation of the body fat. Accumulation of the body fat, in the sense, if you have a late night dinner, it is continued for some reasons, it is continued, that led to the obesity. But if you have your dinner at within 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and there are some difference between the 2 or 3 hours to your meal timings and the food timing, the bed timing, that makes the normal body. In the sense, the whatever that we are facing, obesity and all these things, it is the odd time eating is the one. So this has been proved beyond doubt with a lot of experiments done in Drosophila, done in many of the small mammals, and also with the human subject volunteers, which are shown. So in a randomized weight loss study, women with obesity who ate earlier in the day lost more weight. In the sense, if they have an earlier eating part, then they have a lost most weight. So this is the experiment with the women that they have shown, volunteers. A small study in adults found that late night eating increased blood sugar, even in some children's also they have shown that late night eating increases the blood sugar, and also the following the day. So in the next day also they could see the sugar levels are enhanced if they eat late night. Observational studies in people have also found that late night eating is associated with the obesity and greater risk for cardiometabolic health. So this is what if you have a metabolic homeostasis, so to maintain the metabolic homeostasis, so meal timings play a very important role. And there are many studies have shown that metabolic homeostasis is an essential component that regulates the energy metabolism, especially in the adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is a tissue where your fat is accumulated, and it is stored as an emergency energy for your. So at some point of time, if you fast for so many days, like in case of the Muslims, they fast for 1 month. And even in some cases of they follow Hindus, they follow this Ekadashi, and also Thursdays and Saturdays. They have 1 day for the as keep they say, the traditional people, they do all these things. So during that time, your fat will be utilized. And this adipose tissue is a central metabolic organ and regulates the whole body. So this is very essential to have a fat in adipose tissue. If it is increased because of the late night dinner, it is increased, so that led to the obesity. But this is a normal pattern that we've seen in all the animals and also in the human being. So there are 2 types of fats are there, brown fat and the white fat. White adipose fat is the one which is used as an emergency energy, and the brown fat is the one which is accumulate and as a led to the obesity. And this is brown fat is also why this you may ask me the question, why there should be a brown fat if it is dangerous. So this brown fat during the winter, like now it is a winter, so there's too cold, your body has to maintain a 37 degree, whether it is too hot or too cold. In all situations, your body should be 37 degree, it should be maintained. Though this brown fat is essential for the thermogenesis. This is the normal pattern that we have in our body. And if such things happens, so impaired meal timings, or there's a disturbed meal timing or disturbed clock, led to the increased accumulation of the brown fat that may not utilized. So this is the problem. Adipose tissue secrete various hormones, cytokines, and metabolites that control the systematic energy balance by the regulating appetitive signals, right? Appetitive signals and all these things. So this is the one just I can give you. Whenever your appetite, so this brown tissue will be, or the white tissue will be, white fat tissue is utilized. why we have to have a meal timings is very important. As I already told you, your physiology is fixed for some point of time. Your energy or whatever the digestive juices, they're at the fixed time. So there are another study by the Moong et al. Sachidananda Panda. There is one fellow who is from the Salk University. So where they have done a lot of experiments on this aspect. So how this circadian disruption led to all these problems. But they have shown that the burning of the carbohydrates, storing the fat, the timing of the burning of carbohydrates and storing the fat, it varies. They have a different time point. Say for example, this is yellow color one. So burning of carbohydrates that drops down in the midnight. So that is why if you have a late night food, late night carbohydrate, more carbohydrate, late night dinner, that led to the simply accumulation of the carbohydrates, and that is, they will not be metabolized because your body is at the sleep, and that is why they mainly contributed to the fat accumulation, brown fat and the white fat accumulation. If this is continuous for several days, this happens. And burning of the fat is increased during the night. So if you take this fat digestion, that is why probably if somebody is taking a tablet for triglycerides and the cholesterol burning, so they always, doctors suggest to give at the night. So take these tablets at the night, during the night. That is why after a meal. So this is because this inhibit the burning of the fat. So this is the burning of the fat takes place during the night. It is enhanced. This peaks at the night, in the midnight. You see in the midnight. So this is brown colored one. So that is why the timing of the carbohydrate digestion and timing of the fat burning, that varies. That is why your meal timings should be proper. So that your body can synchronize and so that your health will be normal. Another study by the Manouchian et al. When to eat. So probably she is a student of Sachidananda Panda, as I already told you. This is the one normal saying that we have in our culture: eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. So this is the normal one. We all know that, right? We all know that. So night time we should have a very less food, and breakfast like a king and lunch like a prince. And also there is one saying, one time eating is yogi and something like that. 2 times is bogi and yet kon hogi, like that. Probably you know that, somebody who knows that. These are all the things. So she is from American University, and you see she has given the quote in her paper, that what all we are following, our ancestors or our grandmothers and grandfathers have taught us. Eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and so on. So that is why I wanted to give this aspect, this part, because it's very interesting that we all know that. So this is a normal thing that we have to follow to have a metabolic homeostasis in our body. So there are some experimental, you may ask me, so these are all some stories that you are telling. What is the experimental proof? This is all scientific students, they do it, right? All scientific students, science students, they'll ask for it. This is the experiments. So that is they have done. So there is one is a TRF, that is the time restricted feeding, and eating the late night eating, and also the fat, the type of eating, whether it's a carbohydrate, protein, or a fat, that matters. And even though here there is one experiment that they have done. So just I'm giving you a disciplined mouse versus indisciplined mouse, where this is the control mouse. So when they start experiments, they'll always have a control. So they'll give normal food to them, and their body weight and everything will be recorded. And here this is second mouse, and like that. There are 3 groups of mice. Fat is given, but time restricted. What's the disturbance? Where do you get the disturbance from? Somebody is having phone, I think. They have to keep their phones away. Okay. So here, this is the second group. This type of fat food is given. That is why the color changes. The fat food is given, but only the time restriction. Time Only morning time, the fat is given, fat food is given. The same amount of food is given to this group, and they're allowed to eat continuously, 24/7. So this is the group. So you see the size of the rat is varies, right? This is normal food, normal size, and the same amount of food is given here, but only in the morning, in the morning, time restriction. And here the same as just the control. So they have a same size as the control. And this is the one where they have eaten or ad libitum. We call this as ad libitum. And continuously they eat this food, the same amount, but they have given the food at a same time. Like in the night also they can eat, and the day also they can eat. So see the body size. They are of the same age, and see the body size here that has tremendously, this is double the time it is increased. Double the time it is increased, and body weight also they have shown that, and this body weight has increased. So indisciplined eating, odd time eating, that led to this. So the same amount it is eaten in the morning time, because as I showed in the picture, morning time your digestive system is powerful, and so that you can have a more type of food, and then you can have it, and no problem with the body fat is concerned, and no obesity. But here the odd time eating led to the obesity. You see here, obesity. Okay. Similarly, man in isolation in the Manimuthu et al. In 1990, they're from the one university, Bharatiyar University, and they have given, they have kept the even research scholar, their research scholars as a volunteers, and in the isolation chamber without having the light and dark state. In the sense, they will be in the isolation chamber, they may not know when exactly sun rises and when exactly the sun sets and all these things. When such experiment is done, and they have recorded the different level, volume of the urine and body temperature, and also this calcium level and protein level and all these things. There are several aspects, their sleep timings, sleep and wakeful timings, and all this they have recorded. And what they have shown here, the sleeping timings, that is varied. This is 1 day, 2nd day, 3rd day, 4th day, 5th day, 6th day, and there's a lot of variation in the peaks. And volume of the urine is also, I showed volume of the urine is reduced in the night and increased in the day. You see here, in the night it is increased. Night increased in the volume, urine volume. And similarly, there are several ions they have checked, and there is a variation in the ions. See, reduction in the ions have shown. So this is in the isolation, they have seen that human being, so if they are not exposed to the natural visible light, that led to this severe problem or dampening of the rhythm. So this is my students, only students that have done the experiments on the Drosophila rest activity rhythm, and also they have shown the time restricted feeding. And we have shown that time restricted feeding in the normal diet and the time restricted feeding in the high fat diet. But those individuals which they have given the time restricted feeding with the same amount of food, similarly as in case of the mouse, and they have shown that in normal physiology. And interestingly, what we have observed is their lipid is enhanced in the HFD individuals, lipid enhanced, and then triglycerides enhanced, glycogen is enhanced, and there's an increased. All this has been shown that in the high fat diet fed individuals, and their body weight also increased tremendously, almost double. So if they have this increased obesity and all these things, that led to there are several experimental studies have shown that relation between blood lipid, glucose, and insulin, as I already said, this has been shown in the Drosophila and also in the mouse. There's a blood lipid glucose has been enhanced, and that has been also observed in the shift workers. Those people who work in industries, in the medical industries, like in case of hospitals and all, nurses, they have a night time. That is why those who have a continuous night shifting, that led to several problems. They are facing the hypoglycemia, hyperinsulinemia, dyslipidemia, and also some nurses, some studies have shown that some nurses, their even menstrual cycle has been impaired a lot because of the continuous shift working. So that has been shown in many studies. And here that I wanted to stress upon is now there are people, when they know this shift working, there probably timings of the shift working has been many hospitals, they have adapted this timing of the hospital. They made 4 shifts now, and then these shifts should not impair their sleeping pattern. So, and also there is a cognition problems and psychiatric problem, and also all these problems they are facing. There is one recent Nature review have shown that this is associated with many type of problems, as I already said, cancer and so on. There are many studies are going on. Another next 5 to 6 years, you may get some more interesting feature regarding this clock and how it is associated with many diseases in the human being. And there is one study, microbiota. Probably you know Shilpa Shetty always comes and in the one ad. So this is probiotics, right? Probiotics, good for your gut health, right? Gut health. And this is the one where it is related to this gut health. Probiotics or microbiota, which is present in your body, is also matters if your circadian rhythms are normal and their function is also normal. If it is impaired eating or there is a problem that led to the, so there is one study in Nature that they have shown that, so microbiota of population play an important role in keeping the circadian rhythm normal. And if they are normal and their body is also normal, in the sense they have a normal cell growth, DNA repair and everything. And loss of diurnal rhythmicity. So there is a rhythmicity if you have a impaired rhythm that led to the impaired microbiota that led to the fatty individuals. So there is a sleep. I'm almost at the end of the talk where you have a mental health. So the circadian rhythm is involved in all this function, circadian rhythm disruption, body temperature and so on. There's some brain effects, sleep loss, REM sleep and so on, gastrointestinal disorders, increased cancer, reproductive effects, cardiovascular disorders, mental health. So these are all the interesting things that we have. So all these are regulated by the circadian rhythms. Okay, this is tips for better life. If you want, you can take it. So in conclusion, the most important factor is lifestyle, which affects other factors. Hence, we have to focus on changing our lifestyle and life policies in a positive and healthy ways. And lifestyle is also based on personal choices and identities. Once publicized, it cannot be analyzed out of its social and the cultural context. So you can change your lifestyle and being healthy. So in future, doctors may think that all these problems, one causative reason is the circadian rhythm. If circadian rhythm is normal, then your problems will be solved. That is why future doctors may think that they have to change your internal clock. So they need to change. So if it is your sleeping timings is rare, so you can change your internal clocks and so that you can be healthy. So this is what is happening. Just for one cartoon that I wanted to add. Okay. So there are several experiments that if you are interested, I can go for it. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, madam.
Questions?
Ma'am,
Yes.
if the circadian rhythm is interrupted, and, what is the effect on BMR?
BMI. BMR. That is the okay. This BMR is it is regulated metabolism, right? It is the homeostasis. It is the homeostasis of the meta. It is impaired. There is an increase in the BMR, and as a result of this, we have a odd time problem. So we face several problems. So there's a disruption in the metabolic homeostasis. As a result of this, your BMR also increased, right? It should be between 21, right? It enhances, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Thank you very much for your valuable speech. I have learned many more from your speech. My question is, nowadays we are living in polluted
environment
situation. We have to take vegetables and other food in which there are pesticides and other things. We have to take nutrients and as well as these things. So,
Okay.
what is your opinion, ma'am?
Yeah, that is there. Yeah, it is again, apart from all this disruption, circadian disruption, we are also facing, all are facing, whatever the crops that we are using is contaminated with the pesticides, right? Pesticides. As much as possible, we have to bear with. If you are talking about all this, thinking about all this, you cannot eat anything at all, right? You have to eat. And for some thing that I tell you, your body will get adjusted, adapted to the some part of the poison. Probably you might have heard of Vishakanya. Have you heard of this Vishakanya in case of Chandragupta Maurya's period?
Gupta period, madam.
Yeah. Vishakanya, right? What is the meaning of that? Where they will be given some poisons every day, and so that by the time they 16 or 20, they are become fully poisonous, right? So that is a different issues. What I'm trying to tell is so if you take a little bit of pesticides, your body get adjusted, right? Your body get adjusted. Such adaptive ability is there to your DNA, hereditary material. Such thing is there. So you are better adapted, and your children will be more adapted to the pesticides. That is also there. But nowadays, organic material, organic things are it's improving, right? So people are trying to get organic so with less pesticides and with less fertilizers they are using. So prefer to take all these compounds or the materials which is organic in nature. So things are also there. And better you can have your own garden and can grow vegetables.
Yeah.
Right, sir?
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Madam, this is not the question, just a clarification.
Yes, okay.
This is Manjulakshi. I think you have forgot my name. See,
No, I don't forget. I can see Manjulakshi here.
This is not the question, just clarification.
Okay.
Fasting is the good for health. Some people are there telling in all elder people, the fasting is good for health also. So particularly, then particularly religion point of view, the Muslims
Fast for 1 month.
1 month.
Yes.
It is not effect for health, madam.
No. There are first thing I'll tell you why these religious factors are being practiced since so many days. Intermittent fasting always better, because whenever this fat are accumulated in your body post tissue, when you fast, it will give you more energy, right? So that your fats get dissolved, and so that you will have a more energetic, and all these things are there. First thing. And that is why we have regularly have this Ekadashi and all these things. Some people, they are also very clear about the Thursday fasting and Saturday fasting and all these things. Intermittent fasting helps boost your energy and boost health, right? By reducing the fat content, so that your obesity will be reduced. And in case of the Muslims, there is one study done by Asnav Rus from our university, and recently they have done, and their paper has shown that, probably it is available in the net, if you can just go for it, Muslims. So they have shown that this fasting during this month, Ramzan month, that has boosted their health in all the ways by reducing the glucose sensitivity of the cells. And all these things, it is reduced. In the sense, health benefits are more when you fast. So that is there. Because regularly, 1 month they'll do it, right? And when they break the fast, they'll have a fruits first. So that it may not be effective for having the what we can call it as acidity. So they may not get it. So there is a scientific method of breaking the fast and starting the fast is there. You know that, right? So during breaking the fast, they'll have a cup of fruits. That is what they usually have it. So that certainly helps, so that they'll reduce the acidity part. And after some time, after summers and all these things, they'll have their fruit. Okay, this will not have any problem because they'll have food. Even Christians, they'll have some 3 days during their Shubha Shukruvara. There is during that time they'll have a fasting. Even Christians, they do have fasting. So in all the religions, we have a fasting. We have such fasting. So in Hindus, you know that Ekadashis and all, they fast. And also regularly, there are some fasting ability is there. So depending upon the aged person, better they fast.
Thank you.
Madam,
Okay.
having balanced diet is important to being an